This week on Channel 8 News, we'll take a look at Be the Change, a gun control panel, a sexual assault panel, Tower King and Queen, and more. Channel 8 News starts right now. Thank you for tuning in to our last episode of Channel 8 News for the semester. I'm Channing Clement.
And I'm Alex Sanchez.
Molly Gardner had the opportunity to sit in on the STOA talks. Molly?
On Saturday, April 14th, the Missouri Prairie Foundation held a Grow Native workshop on the campus of Northwest Missouri State University. Grow Native Committee Chair Betty Grace says Grow Native has been in existence for nearly 18 years.
Grow Native has been in existence for 18 years. It was started by the Missouri Department of Conservation at a time when they realized that native plants were so important to the environment, but if they were going to encourage people to use them, and they had every intention of doing that, they wanted to make sure that plants and seed were available for people to put their projects into action. And so they were talking in the 90s to 2000 about bringing together some organization that could tie those people who are in that industry together, and they could promote that and then promote the use of natives. They did that in conjunction with the Department of Agriculture, the Missouri Department of Agriculture, until 8 years ago, when the Missouri Prairie Foundation, which is a conservation organization, picked up and took us on as their program.
Grace also adds that Grow Native has continued to grow in those 18 years.
Purpose, they wanted to expand from Missouri to the surrounding states, and we have. In fact, I think we have representatives from out of state today. One of our speakers is from out of state, and Grow Native continues to grow and expand beyond Missouri's borders.
Grace says that it is important for the community to learn about native plants.
They are a piece of the big puzzle of the environment in ways that you can't explain to somebody when they say, why should I use natives, and you're standing in front of them on the street. Today is an opportunity to look at those ways in which natives are so intimately connected with the soil, with the fauna, with the other plants around it, with the climate, with the weather, everything. That's what today's about, looking at that. Also, natives give you a sense of place. All of us have traveled to a place like the tropics or maybe Alaska, and we notice that things look different. They look different because the way the sun shines at that angle in that place. The soils were different, the plants were different, and you know it in a flash. When we go to parking lots at malls and grocery stores and things like that, what we see in the gardens in those places look more and more the same because they tend to be the non-native plants that people use. But once you start seeing native plants in a place, you suddenly realize you're home.
To learn more about native plants and Grow Native, visit grownative.org. Reporting for Channel 8 News, I'm Molly Gardner.
Thanks, Molly. When we come back, we'll take a look at your Northwest event report. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Alex Sanchez.
And I'm Channing Clement, and this is your Northwest event report.
On Thursday, April 19th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., the Department of Fine and Performing Arts sponsors its biannual art show and sale in the Union Meeting Room D. The sale will feature handmade ceramics, drawings, paintings, and prints created by Northwest art students throughout the academic year.
On Thursday, April 19th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., the Clay Club will also be hosting a Cups and Coffee informational table in the Union. Purchase a mug made personally by students and fill it with coffee or hot chocolate. The Clay Club will give 40% of the proceeds to the Maryville Ministry Center, 10% to Northwest Pay It Forward Food Pantry, and the remaining 50% will remain with the Clay Club to cover the material cost.
On Tuesday, April 17th at noon and Thursday, April 19th at 1 p.m. in the Alumni Dining Room, students and employees are invited to participate in a free meditation time offered twice a week by the university's Wellness Center. Individuals who are new to the meditation are asked to arrive at the start time for a brief overview. Returning participants or those already familiar with the meditation may arrive 15 minutes after the start time, when the period of meditation begins.
On Friday, April 20th, from 3 to 4 p.m. in the Union First Ladies Dining Room, come and join others in another rendition of Bearcats Through Thick and Thin. Most people experience stress, grief, or loss at some point during their college career. This is a time where students, faculty, and staff may come together to receive guidance and support with these issues, such as stress, grief, or loss.
On Friday, April 20th, from 3 to 5 p.m. in the Union Third Floor Ballroom, the Northwest Communities is cordially invited to attend the Spring Faculty Retirement Reception honoring Dr. Jim Eiswert, Brenda Ryan, Dr. Karen Schaefer, Lisa Stobie, Dr. Ben Collier, John Gustafson, Dr. Jeanette Marta, and Rigo Jones. Refreshments will be served.
On Friday, April 20th, from 7 to 10 p.m. in the Union Ballroom, Boardroom, and First Ladies Dining Room, come relax with SAC before finals. There will be several opportunities to relieve any stress. There also are chances to receive a free care package.
During finals week on Monday, April 23rd from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Materials Distribution Center, individuals are invited to review items being offered during Northwest's next surplus sale, which is set for the next day, Tuesday, April 24th. Interested buyers can come out and inspect items for sale before purchasing.
Well, that's all we have for your Northwest Event Report. When we come back, we'll take a look at some more recent news and events. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Alex Sanchez.
And I'm Shannon Clement.
I had the opportunity to sit on a gun control panel held at the university. Let's take a look. I'm at Colden Hall at Northwest Missouri State, where the College Republicans and Young Democrats had a discussion and panel about gun control. The College Republicans and Young Democrats held a panel to discuss one of the biggest issues in America today, gun control. The panel consisted of questions from the monitor and questions from the audience that ranged from teachers with guns to mental health. Each member gave their own opinion on the questions being asked, and most of them did agree with each other, but it was well known what side they stood for.
There should be the probability of a known resistance in a building that would dissuade an active shooter or a bad guy.
Limiting the capacity of magazines, limiting specific types of firearms, also closing the ability to privately sell firearms so that it has to go through the government so that they can be tracked and registered.
Between private people, if I were to sell a firearm
to me.
To parents, there you go.
Yes.
There you go. Why should I have to do a background check of clearance?
I could be the bad guy.
I mean, but most
You know you.
Yeah.
We know you, Clarence.
and most I would say most
But
gun owners,
no.
I would say most gun owners, are responsible citizens.
But I also see that as an infringement on some folks' rights, because here's what all the data tells us. Most folks with mental illness never do violence. These the lethality that we're seeing that's happening at schools, those things happen less than 1% of the time. And so I think we're trying to do a catch-all, and that's what makes it tough. I don't think there's a way with the background check that's going to catch someone who's going to suddenly snap. I think what we could do is do a better job of maybe slowing, it wouldn't even slow it down. I don't think a criminal background check slows anything down, but it may prohibit some folks who are not buying the gun, because it's a little bit harder in some places to buy the gun on the street corner. They're going right to the auction and buying that gun, or they're buying it from a private vendor.
I would say I think that the best way to preserve my safety is to ensure that there's not a whole bunch of people carrying guns that aren't trained to use them. I think that protects my safety more than me carrying a gun.
And you're speaking from an authoritarian viewpoint then, where I'm speaking from
allowing people to decide for themselves what's best for themselves. You're saying, well, I think that what's best for me is to limit others. And that's where I fundamentally disagree.
So something that both sides could agree on was universal background checks and training to be able to carry a firearm. If those things will be a requirement in the future is still up for debate. For KNWT Channel 8, I'm Alex Sanchez. So last week I did a story about gun control, and it was really interesting to see it transfer over into a panel.
That's awesome. Well, I cannot wait to hear more about it. Mitch Bromberger got to be a part of the Be the Change Week. Let's take a look. Mitch.
Alpha Sigma put on an event called Be the Change for drunk driving.
Allie and I were chosen by exec to run this event, and so we kind of wanted to bring more of a fun vibe to it. Even though it's a serious matter, we wanted to keep the seriousness but also have more fun.
We started Monday through Wednesday. We had a table in the union where people could take a pledge not to drink and drive, so they'd sign the banner. And then once they signed that, they got a little goodie bag with candy and then a pamphlet with statistics on it about the implications of drunk driving. And at the bottom we put Safe Rides number, so people would have that also. And then today it was nice enough that UPD was able to come, and they brought a tricycle and drunk goggles so people could use that as a drunk driving simulation. And then tonight we did have this gathering at the bell tower for a moment of silence for all the lives that have been taken to drunk driving.
This event started several years ago after the school endured a terrible tragedy.
Back in 2010, our sister Abby Cockrell was driving. She had a sober driver and was killed by a driver going 150 miles per hour who was also drunk, and ended up hitting the driver's side, and the car flipped a couple times and Abby was killed.
We had Abby's parents come up from Kansas City to speak on, how their lives have been affected and, the impact of the loss of their daughter and how someone's poor decision affected their life.
With the largest turnout for this event in the 7 years that it has been going, it is believed to only get bigger as time goes on and more awareness gets out there.
So we invited all of the Northwest Greek chapters to the bell tower this evening at 6 for a moment of silence and balloon release for all of the lives lost to drunk driving. We realize that it's not just our chapter that is affected, especially in the last couple of months. So we wanted to branch out and extend the offer to the entire Northwest campus.
This is my first time planning the event, but I'm a junior this year, so this is my third time attending this. Usually we just do our chapter, and we gather around. We have a memorial tree in front of Roberta, but this year we know that drunk driving impacts more than just our chapter. It impacts people across campus, people across everywhere, so we thought it'd be a good idea to invite more people out and speak to a bigger crowd about the true implications of drunk driving. We bought balloons to represent each chapter here on campus, and then a balloon specifically for Abby, and then a balloon for Northwest as a whole. So then everyone released the balloon, and we had a quick moment of silence, and then everyone was released.
This event isn't just to remember Abby, but so many other Bearcats have lost their lives to drunk driving.
People are not as invincible as they think they are, and we're all somebody's daughter, brother, friend, so it impacts so many more people than it should. 29 people die a day from drunk driving, and that's just way too high. So any awareness that we can bring is good.
With a topic as serious as this, it is important for all students to hear what these parents have to say. For more information, I'm Mitch Bomber for Channel 8 News.
Thanks, Mitch.
When we come back, we'll take a look at some national headlines. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Shannon Clement.
And I'm Alex Sanchez.
House Speaker Paul Ryan's bombshell announcement that he will not seek re-election brings with its immediate and long-term political ramifications for the southeast Wisconsin district and the House landscape overall, where Democrats need to pick up 23 seats to gain the majority in 2019. Republicans are also losing the party's best fundraiser for House candidates. Ryan's campaign announced hauling in more than $11 million in the first quarter of the year. bringing its total raise to $54 million and transferring more than $40 million to the National Republican Congressional Committee to help other GOP candidates this cycle. By announcing his retirement at this moment, it sends a dire signal to Republicans that are already in a tough environment could get even more challenging. Our CNN affiliate has this story. Let's take a look.
This year will be my last one as a member of the House.
The Speaker of the House will step aside.
You all know that I did not seek this job. I took it reluctantly, but I have given this job everything that I have. And I have no regrets whatsoever for having accepted this responsibility.
Ryan will leave Washington having accomplished one of his primary goals, passing sweeping tax reform.
Like a true leader, Paul stepped up to the plate. He answers his colleagues' call with exactly the earnest, selfless, and focused approach that has defined his entire career.
The Speaker now says he wants to spend more time with his family.
What I realize is, if I am here for one more term, my kids will only have ever known me as a weekend dad. I just can't let that happen.
Ryan will serve out his full term before retiring in January.
He gave it his all. I think he did a very effective job, trying to lead the conference, keeping it as unified as he could. And he certainly raised a lot of money. So I think it took a toll on him.
He was facing an uphill battle to retain the majority in the House, and sources say he did not want to lead the GOP if it was the minority party. President Trump weighed in on Ryan's decision, tweeting, "Speaker Paul Ryan is a truly good man, and while he will not be seeking re-election, he will leave a legacy of achievement that nobody can question. We are with you, Paul."
I am proud of what this conference has achieved, and I believe its future is bright.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was pelted with tough questions on the company's data collection practices and the need for new regulation during a 5-hour hearing with the House Energy and Commerce Committee last Wednesday. Representative Kathy Castor pressed Zuckerberg hard on how Facebook tracks users after they are off the platform. Representative Ben Lujan got Zuckerberg to admit that Facebook goes so far as to collect data from some people who have not signed up for the social network for security purposes. The data scandal wiped away tens of billions of dollars from Facebook's market value, which prompted political scrutiny on both sides of the Atlantic and even raised the once unthinkable question of whether Zuckerberg should step down as CEO.
When a young sperm whale washed up on a beach in southern Spain, scientists wanted to know what killed it. They know now: waste, 64 pounds of it, most of it plastic, but also ropes, pieces of net, and other debris lodged in its stomach. The discovery has prompted authorities in Murcia, Spain, to launch a campaign to clean up its beaches. Officials stated that the whale died of an abdominal infection called peritonitis. It just couldn't digest the waste it had swallowed, causing its digestive system to rupture. Around 150 million tons of plastic are already floating in our oceans, with an additional 8 million tons entering the water each year.
President Trump again threatens a missile would soon be fired towards Syria. He taunted Russia on Twitter in the aftermath of the suspected chemical weapon attack by the Syrian government over the weekend. Our CNN affiliate Omar Jimenez has the story. Let's take a look.
The missiles are coming, at least according to President Trump, who days after an alleged chemical weapons attack in Syria tweeted, "Russia vows to shoot down any and all missiles fired at Syria. Get ready, Russia, because they will be coming, nice and new and smart." And then he called Syrian President Bashar al-Assad a gas-killing animal who kills his people and enjoys it.
He's tweeted himself into a corner. He's the one who said in his tweets that this is unacceptable. He's going to have to take action. And having taken action a year ago, he really can't do anything less.
The Kremlin responded, saying that they don't engage in Twitter diplomacy. A spokesperson adding, quote, "The pretext on the use of chemical weapons in Duma is fabricated and cannot be used as an excuse for some forceful actions." Defense Secretary James Mattis says they're still assessing the intelligence on the situation.
Is the U.S. military ready right now to conduct a retaliatory strike if ordered?
We stand ready to provide military options if they're appropriate.
The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons is expected to hold a meeting Monday to discuss the alleged use of chemical weapons in Syria as they prepare to launch a fact-finding mission on the ground. At the United Nations, the Security Council failed to pass a resolution that would have established its own independent investigation due to a Russian veto, the country's 6th veto related to chemical weapons in Syria. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
We will just have to see where it goes from here.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week and for this semester.
Northwest Sessions is up next. From all of us here at Channel 8 News, for the last time, I'm Alex Sanchez.
And I'm Shannon Clement. Have a great summer, Bearcats.